Hey, Talos. Good morning, everyone. We are poking things today with really big sticks, or at least I hope really big sticks. Life has been crazy. How is everyone? Trying to be a happy human. Not always successful on that one, but we're making it, you know? But we're here, you know. It is what it is. So So, we're just doing book writing shenanigans today. I should probably have updated my stream information over on Twitch before I clicked live, but didn't think about that. I hit the wrong button. Gonna have to... Gonna have to figure out how I set those buttons up. Because clearly I did something. There we go. All the info's been updated. It makes me happy. Yeah, so just poking things today. For those of you who are not in the Discord, I have 2 book series that I'm working on right now. And one is, let me kind of adjust my mic for, not my mic, but my camera for a second because I don't like the angle. Oh, that's as far as it's willing to lean. Okay, there we go. Much better. Essentially, I've been writing 2 different book series. One is inspired by Philippa Gregory's rewrite of Edward the Second and Elizabeth Woodville. Loosely inspired by them, by those books, or by the White Queen specifically. And then I have another book series that in truth I'm not sure if it's probably gonna be a 5-book series. It might end up being 6. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. And that is my Werewolves of London series that I've been working on, and the one that I have the most work done on out of the 5 books currently is the 3rd book. Why is that, you might be asking? Part of that is because the daughter just happens to be screaming the loudest. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. She's screaming the loudest, and that's okay. We will let the female go first, per usual. Y'all might be wondering what these little things are up on the screen, so that I can actually poke at them correctly. We have a goal of potentially getting a new camera. It is set up on Ko-Fi right now, and you can go support me over there just to kind of drop all the normal social media stuff. I'm everywhere: Instagram, Threads, still on Twitter now, X. Not that I use it very often. Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok. I am Magnolias and Crystals everywhere but X. They do not have enough characters for me to use the full Magnolias and Crystals handles, so I am just Trula Marie over there. But we're on all of the social medias per usual, and I would love it if you came and joined us over there. If you're watching this on YouTube, and even if you're not, I just posted my first longer form content book review yesterday on The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. So feel free to go and check that out. And that's pretty much it. Today I'm working on, or at least I'm going to try and work on book 1 of the Werewolves of London series. That is most likely potentially not going to happen. I just don't feel like touching the history of it all right now. So I'm also opening book 3 in another window. And, I really enjoyed writing these things, writing this. I do a lot of fan fiction writing. For those of y'all who don't know, I have 2 different accounts on Archive of Our Own. One is for my Marvel, DC, Shenanigans, and then another is, oh goodness, I have fried my hair in a spot. And the other one is for other things. Particularly, have a lot of my more serious fics over there is what I want to say. One of them is Predators and Prey, which is my retelling of the Hannibal TV show series where Will actually gets a happy ending at the end. So yeah, it's over there on Archive of Our Own. You'll know when you found it. But it hasn't been updated lately because I'm burnt out on the show, you guys. I'm burnt out. And so instead, we are, I've been focusing on other fics that I've kind of started writing, which I have one that is Game of Thrones themed. It kind of fixes all of season 8, in my opinion, of it makes no sense that Dany went that psycho that quickly, personally. That's just me. There was no good setup for that. So I'm fixing that. I also have a, what other ones do I have going on right now? There's one I won't talk about just yet. Because it's still in the feeling it out sort of phase. So I'm not going to talk about it and kind of talk it up. But there's that one. I also have one that is just going to be, I can't decide if it's going to go on my main account, Ward's Girl, WARDSGIRL, over on Archive of Our Own, or if it's going to go on my more serious account. That is kind of a series that I randomly started, and it is Bruce Wayne ending up with an OC of mine, and it is Jason Todd ending up with an OC of mine that I've created that is Ivy's daughter. Don't ask. The shit that goes on in my brain is kind of endlessly poking at fun things. And anyways, just poking at things and all those good things. So we're just here to hang out. We're just here to have fun. I'm drinking my tea and stuff this morning because I have been off my routine. Because that thing we call life. I am making it, you guys. Just making it. And it sucks, but it is what it is. But that's why we're hanging out here. We're going to do more streams and stuff like that. I'm sorry we didn't stream last night. I was very tired yesterday and kind of upset over some stuff. So we're making it now and we're going to have fun. That's kind of the goal of everything. So, yep. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming specifically right now. We might take a break and come back at some point during the day. But yeah, we're chilling right now. Sorry, y'all. I have not done the social media thing today, so I have to kind of be a good girl and do my social media stuff. All the fun stuff of having to do social media, you guys. And I know I don't have to do this. I choose to do a lot of this stuff. I appreciate that, Talos. I appreciate it. But yeah, I've just been doing a lot of reading here lately, and I'm at 25 books, I think, finished for the year so far. So that has been helpful with a lot of the creativeness that I've had going on and trying to kind of get myself back into the swing of things of being more creative and being more present in my creativity, because I love doing things, you guys. It's fun, and I just yeah, life. It is wonderful. I'm trying to make sure that I can still see my YouTube live chat over to the side in case, because the downside of OBS, you can't see those things on OBS for YouTube. It's how it is, and it's okay. It's okay. We just we have to have two windows open, and it's totally fine. Don't know if anyone would be interested in me actually reading the prologue off. But all the fun stuff this morning. Okay, back to actually trying to write. That would be wonderful. Okay, now I can stop being distracted for a little bit. Oh. Dang it. Not what I wanted to do. My bad. Just to kind of give you all the premise of... Hello, Harmony. Just to kind of give you all the premise of Werewolves of London, since Dracula is in the public domain, this little vampire-obsessed child decided to... I started this like forever ago with the intention of it just being one book, and then as I went back and started looking at it again, I was like, no, this needs to be 5 books. So each one kind of follows specific family members more closely. So there's mom and dad, and then the 4 siblings. So we have 5. Mom and dad's story takes place during Vlad's rule in Transylvania. And so we get to see them raising their kids around Vlad and everything, and watching Vlad be torn between marrying the woman he's supposed to marry and then being in love with their daughter. They leave before the Turks arrive and end up traveling. So they are a family of immortal werewolves who are loyal to Vlad. And then book 2 is going to be set during Bram Stoker's Dracula, is the thought process that I have, is that Vlad's kind of gone a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs after kind of banishing himself into privacy for a little while. And that one is going to follow the oldest brother with his significant other. Oldest brother is gay, by the way. I really wanted to have some major have that it be in this. So there's that. And then book 3 is the daughter. She's the second oldest, and it is her falling in love with Vlad's very many greats grandson. Why is this? It is called the Van Helsing family did not realize that Vlad actually had his son had survived. And so they, for years, kept track of the, LGBTQI representation everywhere. Actually, fun fact, Aurelia, Dimitri's the oldest. There's Aurelia. There is, goodness, I cannot remember all the kids' names. This is why I have a Notion that has everything in it. I highly recommend using Notion if you don't use it for anything else for book plotting, because it is wonderful. I found someone who's created this character vault thing, and it has saved me a gross amount of time of kind of separating everyone out. So we have Andre and Celestina, who are the heads of the family. Then there is Dimitri, Aurelia, Emil, and Avante. Sorry, y'all. I am getting a phone call that we are 100% going to ignore. Anyways, so that's the family. Dimitri marries the love of his life in the 1920s. His name is Henry. And Aurelia ends up with the great-great-grandson of Vlad Tepes, whose name is William. William knows that he is a descendant of Vlad, thanks to his mother's side of the family. But think of the Van Helsings in this story as kind of like the assassins in Assassin's Creed. They are, they've charged themselves with kind of keeping the world from going too crazy, or having, in this case, supernatural creatures running rampant and kind of controlling the world. So in this case, they have essentially kind of taken care of and put the fear of everything in the other supernatural creatures, vampires and all the like. The only ones that they haven't been able to track down is this specific bloodline of werewolves. And and when I say Assassin's Creed reference, they had in my story, the thought process is that they have different homes across the world where they keep all this information in the bloodline family trees tracked down of Vlad's bloodline, so that they know, who to keep an eye on. Unfortunately, a large fire happened at some point in time in one of the villas that happened to be hosting the information, and that information got burnt. So the Tepes family was actually able to infiltrate the Van Helsing family, which resulted in William being born. That is who Aurelia ends up with. Emil and Avante don't have their story just yet. Each one is so they're gonna be book 4 and 5, respectively, age-wise. But they haven't quite decided what they want to do yet. I'm hoping by writing book 3, it's kind of going to preemptively give me those ideas for them, because the last book, which would be Avante's book, because he is the baby, will be the one that closes everything out. That is when we will see the end of the whole entire story found with the Van Helsing family. Aurelia's book is the one who kicks off the big battle. So like we get a little bit of peace in the first two books, with their own respective things going on, and then book 3 through 5 are gonna be pretty fucking intense. For lack of a better term, it's gonna be intense. But yeah, just to kind of give y'all a snippet, the prologue was not originally supposed to be this. The prologue I originally had was like college Trula having written this, and now it is much better. So actually I'll be really, really nice and share that with you guys. And I blame Vincent Lima. Some of his music really inspired some of this, and I fully admit that the song Eurydice is 100% on the playlist for this, as well as so we've got the Eurydice, we've got his Orpheus on there, because those songs are very pertinent kind of to the story. Orpheus is very much Vlad in this situation, and Aurelia is Eurydice in a way. Their love story is kind of really cryptic and very fun to poke around at, because I love watching Vlad get his ass handed to him, because he actually has a woman who's gonna put him in his goddamn fucking place. So there you go. But one of the things that I've loved writing about this was just, it's been nice, to kind of have this outlet. But, I have finished the prologue. I have finished chapter 1 of the book. I think I've almost finished chapter 2. I could be wrong. But, yeah, it's all kinds of fun over here doing all of this. And I love it. I do. I love writing. It's kind of always been my thing. I just love writing. So, it's been nice. You didn't miss much, Talos. You did not miss much. Oh, I'll read y'all. I'll tease y'all chapter 2, a flashback section, so it's not too much. Um, She wasn't sure why she'd agreed to coming here with him. Aurelia was supposed to be back in the city working on finalizing the details for the grand opening of her club. But she was here with him in his countryside manor, lying in his bed. You should be sleeping. His voice filled her ears. At one point, his voice had acted like a balm for the tattered edges of her heart where it had broken upon his wedding day. Now it was just a reminder of time lost and things she could not yearn for. Things she should not yearn for. God, I cannot read today. So should you. It was daylight out. Although the windows of his home were so darkly tinted, one could have sworn the sun was the moon. She was so transfixed on the window near her that she hadn't realized he had joined her in bed again. His cold touch was gentle, causing goosebumps to rise on her skin at the stark contrast to the warmth of the room. "What are you thinking, my beloved wolf?" The question was most likely rhetorical, but the words of her answer were spilling from her before she realized it. "How badly I want this to be our life, for us to spend the daylight hours suspended in bliss and sleep before taking to the dark shadows of the night." Vlad's fingers stopped their soft dance on her skin, his eyes burning holes into her. She didn't dare to face him. They'd been dancing around this conversation for months since his return to London. Aurelia wanted a life with him. She'd made that very apparent with how often she invited him to family events, how often she included him in her plans. "We can't have a life together. Not in the way you want." His words tore at the fragile pieces of her heart. "I can't give you children, Aurelia." "Who says I want them?" She sat up in the bed, green eyes dark as she settled on him. "You do. Every time there is a new child in the pack, you are so happy but guarded." She knew he was right. She yearned for a child of her own, a child conceived in love that she could hold dear. "I would give that up for you." It was a hasty decision made in that moment, one that Vlad was aware she would regret. "No, you wouldn't." Vlad softly brushed the hair back from her face. "I wouldn't allow it. Besides, your loyalties are to your pack, Aurelia. I could never expect you to abandon them." "Then you could change me. Make me a vampire." The words were out of her mouth before she could realize what she was actually saying. Vlad was out of the bed in an instant, putting as much space between them as he could. "You do not know what you are asking, Aurelia." He was facing the fireplace, refusing to look her in the eye now. "I don't even know if it would be possible as you're already. Wouldn't it be worth the try?" She had left the bed sheet wrapped around her as she stepped closer to him. "We've been keeping each other at arm's length for so long, Vlad. Don't we deserve to finally be happy?" His body was rigid as he stood before the fire. She knew he was trying to figure out the words to tell her it would never happen. Vlad had always been adamant that there could be nothing more than what they had between them. She was the one who had led herself down this road of believing that they could be together now. She had misunderstood his softly whispered words that felt like love between them. "I see," she spoke softly, moving back to her side of the bed where her clothing was scattered. "Then I'll leave." Aurelia, her words pulled him from his thoughts, standing behind her as his hands softly touched her skin. "I didn't ask you to leave." "You don't have to, my lord." The words were like ice, her body rigid now under his touch. Then his hands fell from her skin as if that one statement had made her skin burn him. She dressed before him, returning the sheet to the bed and collecting her bag from where she dropped it the night before. Reaching into it for her keys, she pried the ring open to remove the black key from it. She left it settled on his desk before making her way down to where her car was parked in the garage. Vlad was frozen in the bedroom, watching as her black car disappeared down the curving driveway. He had fooled himself into believing this was the one place he could have her, if only just for those precious moments spent within the walls of the manor. Now, he had lost the trust between them, uncertain if he would ever gain it back. So yeah, there's a little flashback that takes place in chapter 2. It might be expanded on, it might be tweaked more, but yeah, that's it. That's the flashback y'all are going to get to hear today, and that is it. All the fun. Thank you, Talos. Harmony, if you write a book, I want to read it. It's going on my to-be-read list. That will be for certain. Oh, I'm going to shift a little bit. I try to get comfy. I love my chair. Like, this was, like, the best splurge, and it's the viral TikTok chair. But I got mine off of Amazon, and mine's not leather, but mine has the wheels on the bottom, which is really nice. So I can actually, like, shift things around, and I like how tall it goes. I can, like, sit up very much, and I love my crisscross applesauce ability. It's wonderful. So I'm going to scooch up just a little bit. Only downside, I'm on carpet, so the wheels fucking don't work. There we go. Now I'm happy. I don't think I'd write under a pen name, personally. I think I'd publish under my actual name. But then again, my name is really super interesting. So, who knows? Who knows? I mean, this got started when I was, like, in college, and I've just recently restarted touching it, which makes me happy. I think the thing that's holding me back on The Prince's Witch is that I want to have a tarot deck created for it, and I just don't have the funds to work with my fabulous artist friend to actually make the tarot deck, because I would like to work with her on that to make the tarot deck for the book, because I wanted to have a very special tarot deck that kind of goes with it, and have it be a very one of a kind tarot deck. In other words, you're going to pull a Nora Roberts, Harmony? Because Nora Roberts also writes under the pen name J.D. Robb. I forgot James Patterson writes under a different name. Where do I want to work? Oh, okay. I kind of want to share the section where William kind of really realizes he is fully in love with Aurelia. This one, I haven't decided what chapter it is yet. It's further along in the book for sure. But this is the beginning of that chapter. It was the rain on the large rounded windows that pulled William from his sleep next to her. She'd opted out of them going to the club the night before to instead attend a night at the symphony. He had tried to protest, wanting to stay far away from the circles she ran in as a precaution. William had used every excuse he could think of, including not having proper attire to attend the performance. She'd seen to that being handled, apparently, long before he'd voiced it, because when they'd arrived at her place, a tuxedo in his measurements was waiting for him. Then they'd come back to her place, where they had promptly fallen into bed together, as they had almost every night for the last 6 months. That still felt wrong to think in his head as he lay there watching her. 6 months spent learning all there was about the house of Dracul from his however many great-grandfather Vlad Tepish. 6 months since Vlad had essentially shoved them together at her club and left him to fend for himself against something that could lead to the ending of the Dracul bloodline. However, the fear was far from him in the moment. He was in her bed, watching her sleep. William Garrison Tepish Van Helsing was lying in bed with a woman he knew for certain was a werewolf, all because of Vlad's teachings. And he was deeply in love with her. There was no question of those feelings as he felt pulled to her any time they were in the same room together. Even now, laying in the same bed, William felt as if there was a chasm between them that he wanted to fill. But his family lineage was holding him back. Yes, Vlad had introduced them, but neither he nor William had told her exactly that he was related to Vlad. He had left that to William to decide when he would. William just wasn't sure if he could. There's a little more tease. There you go. More teasing. Why must CapCut send so many notifications? Oh, just throw my phone around. Haha, what? Me throwing my phone around, Harmony? When am I not throwing my phone around, you know? I'm always throwing my phone around. It's a miracle my screen protector is even like still intact sometimes. Okay, I just want to say that I think it's hilarious that the shield moderation in Twitch thought LMAO was a curse word. That is hilarious. Oh. Oh. You're fine, Talos. I can do it from OBS. Thankfully, OBS does let us do things like that, so I could actually approve it. But I think it's absolutely hilarious that it thought LMAO was a curse word. It's now made note that it's not, but I think it's hilarious. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, give me all the spreadsheets, Harmony. Literally. Oh, okay. I have to take a second and go get my charger, which, you know what? I just realized I've never created a pause screen, which is quite hilarious for Twitch. Spreadsheets are not happy mo's for everyone. Not everyone gets the same kick out of them as some of us do. They just scratch a particular itch in my brain that makes me happy. Dang it. Why does it not give me the option to ungroup these? Oh, probably because I have the... Yep, that's what I thought. Ungroup. Sorry, y'all. I really gotta remember what I've done to set these things up with. We're gonna just delete that out. And do that. I will just manually do it for a little while. It's okay, because I really... Ooh, salsa and Doritos actually don't sound bad. I made roast the other night, and I came home to smelling it in the apartment, and oh my god, it was amazing. It's like, thank you. Not what I want to do. Sorry, y'all. I forget. I can't fuck around with this stuff when I'm streaming. I'll do it another time. But let me go get my charger because I do not want us dying here in a second. Okay, this is why I want a desktop mic stand, so that we don't have this happening. No, actually, ideally, what I really want to do is I will eventually get the saw blade that I need for my drill, and I will cut a hole somewhere in this desk, this gigantic ass desk that I have, and we'll be installing the mic like in the whole situation. So that will eventually happen, but it is not happening today, unfortunately. Let's see if I can do this and actually have it reach. Oh, that is a tight fit. That is a tight fit and is going to keep me locked in right here. Lovely. Oh, unless I can shop. Not that I really want to move this anywhere weirdly closer, but it is okay. Downside of the new MacBook Airs, they're not very long. And it is okay. I'm so happy your dress is almost ready for the wedding, Harmony. It makes me happy. Welcome, welcome, Spinner. How was your Wednesday treating you? Oh, yeah. Me and this thing are gonna lovely have a fight here. I really need to get a better setup for this. Alright, everything's good. No complaints over here, just poking away at some book writing. Not that I've gotten a lot done, but it is slow going, and we're gonna keep plugging away for a little bit. I might cut off at 1 to go eat lunch, and then we'll might get back at it after that. But yeah. Why do we need gaming PCs? I mean, granted, I should probably at some point be looking at streaming gear. I honestly had slightly forgotten, Josh, that your computer had died. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. Y'all, I know that Ko-Fi thankfully has the little thing that like does the bot stuff, but unfortunately Patreon doesn't. And why isn't it letting me do this? Copy, paste. There we go. There's the Patreon. I really need to start pinning that at the beginning. And creating a little social media buttons eventually. Like, that needs to happen. But, oh, all the things I need to do that are on my to-do list. So I have two series started. One is based on Philippa Gregory's White Queen, about Edward VII and Elizabeth Woodville. And the one I'm currently working on is the third book in a series that I'm writing called The Werewolves of London. It is the idea, since Dracula's in the public domain, it kind of is set where this is an immortal werewolf family that is loyal to him, and it follows their story from the time that the kids are little in Transylvania, growing up with Vlad, to the point where it is present day. So first book is set to be about the parents and growing up. More fictional. It is actually immortal werewolves, is the game plan. I really love Dracula. That was one of my first big novels that I always enjoyed. And I so much love Dracula that I have a really fancy copy that has like sprayed edges and it's velvet and everything. So the idea behind the story is that this family is loyal to Vlad and the Tepesh family. They are sequestered out of Transylvania before the Turks arrive, and then they end up in London and kind of traveling around all of Europe. And so first book is set in Transylvania for the most part. Second book is going to follow Bram Stoker's Dracula story and will actually follow the oldest son and his significant other. And then book 3 follows the only daughter and the second oldest and her love story, which is more present day. And then the last 2 books will follow the youngest 2 brothers, each one having their own love story kind of following through. All the characters will be there. It's just that each book is going to focus in on a specific couple. And right now, Aurelia, the daughter, is the loudest. So I am currently working on her book. Each of these books don't have a separate title just yet, and I will eventually title them, but the series is going to be the Werewolves of London series. So yeah. This is my very fun fictional. I don't do historical fiction, but this is actually going to have some historical fiction in it. But for the most part, this is kind of what I've been plotting. I actually, as I say, College Trula started this and I re-picked it up because I really got interested in writing it again. So right now I'm sitting at, for book 3, 14,720 words. And it's at 46 pages. So yeah. I appreciate it. I love it when people come in and do this. You'll have to catch the replay because there's a couple sections that I read off already earlier at the beginning of the stream. So as I write things, it's going to get shared. I also write fan fiction on occasion. And so there are lots of my fan fiction kind of running out and around in the world. So yeah, I love writing. It's one of my favorite things. So it is absolutely fine. You didn't have to be here earlier. I will share a little bit of the angsty spot that I've been working on. For those of y'all who've already been here, y'all kind of know the premise. Aurelia is belonging to the werewolf family. William is, poor baby, torn between 2 worlds. He is a Van Helsing and he is Vlad's very many great grandsons. So this is when he is telling Aurelia the truth. He wasn't sure what had possessed him to choose that moment to tell her the truth, to tell her everything, but he had. The words had tumbled out of his mouth without a moment's hesitation. "I'm a Van Helsing." The words had felt like bile on his tongue. The way she had stopped on their walk told him everything. He had just broken whatever thread of trust they had built between them. William stood in front of her, watching her body for any sign of how she was going to react, but she didn't budge, eyes burning holes in him. "I want to laugh, but you're not lying, are you?" she asked, her body language never changing. "I can't keep lying to you, Aurelia. I've wrestled with the idea of telling you for months now because you deserve the truth," he answered, moving forward to take her hand. "I swear to you I never intended on telling the family what you are, especially not after everything I've learned." "And what have you learned?" Her hand slid from his, feet carrying her away from him. "That we're not the monsters your family has made us out to be for centuries?" "I have never thought of you as a monster, Aura." His pet name for her came easily. He loved her, and he wasn't about to let this go without telling her the truth. "And not just because of what I've learned from being around you and your family. I'm also the last remaining heir of the Tepesh family." The look on her face as she finally turned to him again actually frightened him. Her normally gray-green eyes had turned gold in anger, her hands clenched into fists by her side. "So he put you up to this," Aurelia growled, taking a few steps back from him. "He thought that because he couldn't give me the life he thought I wanted, that he would lay you as an offering at my feet. Vlad didn't do anything, Aura, besides introduce us." "I was the one who chose to pursue you," he answered softly, not making a move in case she grew angrier. The last thing William wanted was to be the reason she lost control. "I chose to continue to see you. It was all me. So whatever you think Vlad did, he didn't. I should have known better," she hissed. "I trusted you, and you can still trust me," William argued, his body already moving before he realized it until he was standing in front of her. "If I wanted any part of what my father's family has planned, I wouldn't be here telling you all of this. I'd be at my apartment waiting for instructions. I love you, Aurelia. Do you not see that?" "How can I?" She glared up at him. "How can I trust what is coming out of your mouth when all you've done for the last 8 months is lie to me? You lied to all of us." "Yes, I did," he agreed, fighting the urge to reach out and touch her now that they were so close. "I lied. I did it because I had no idea what else to do. The night you told me what you are, I waited until you were asleep to slip off to the bathroom. The guilt was eating at me for not being honest with you. I was in there for hours until I was vomiting only stomach bile." William stepped back, finding that his anger was just growing in that close of a proximity to her. "So that's it. You've made your confession and you just expect me to be okay with it?" Aurelia asked, angry tears streaming down her face. "Your family wants to murder mine." "My father's family wants to murder yours," William corrected as he turned to face her now. "My mother is loyal to those who are loyal to Vlad, and so am I." "You don't know what loyalty is," she spit at him before stalking off back towards the manor. "Aurelia," he quickly followed after her, finding it hard to keep up as her anger seemed to be channeled from her wolf. "Aurelia, please, just let me. I want you gone." Her words cut him off as she turned on him, canines elongated as she did. "I want you to pack your things and leave. I never want to see you again. And if you know what is best for you, then you won't show up at the company tomorrow." "Aura, please." William wanted to fix this. He just wasn't sure how. "You have no right to call me that anymore." Aurelia headed up the stairs of the patio, leaving him there alone. And that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting of the angsty scene. One of the angsty scenes. There will probably be more. I don't know where they're going to come in, though. Because this is much more like closing end of story. But, yes, poor William, who put himself in this situation. Right now, they're not for sale. I have not finished the books. I haven't decided if I want to try to self-publish, which gets really expensive. But when they're done, we'll see. I'm hoping I just don't write myself into a plot hole because, you know, people tend to do that. And yeah, I don't want to leave plot holes. And so I have amazing friends who, um, I mean, Harmony, should we do that? Should we make a micro publishing house? I think that would be fun. Um, I may, I may try to get it published through, there's a couple smaller publishing houses that I know that take, submissions and stuff like that, but I really want the book series to kind of be finished. Um, um, I would like this to eventually kind of be a show. Originally, that was kind of how I had it played out in my head. If you have ever seen the vodka commercial that has the Werewolves of London song on it, that Masha did, that is actually the theme that I have always had playing in my head is, that is the theme for this. And that would be the song that I would want to play as like the show opens type situation. I don't know if they could get everyone that I want as actors for it though, because I've kind of just to give y'all a share on this, I've kind of like when I'm writing, I have to have someone who has like similar physical attributes to the people I'm writing, and so who I've kind of casted as characters. William's mom is Juliana Moore. Vlad, I decided, we're keeping him the hot hunk. So I'm like, we want Luke back from Dracula Untold. William is fan casted for me as, just for writing purposes, Nicholas Galitzine. And then the whole Daciana family is Andre is Mads Mikkelsen, Aurelia is Florence Pugh, Celestina is Nicole Kidman, Dimitri is Alex Skarsgård, Emil is Bill Skarsgård, Avante is, dang it, what's his name? He played Marcus in Discovery of Witches, and he was actually in Lady Jane. And I feel really, really bad for not knowing his name. Where I'm just like, forget it. I'm not going to Lady Jane. I'm going to Discovery of Witches, and I'm going to find him really fast. Edward Blumel is who I have casted as baby brother. And Henry Alexander, who is Dimitri's significant other, it was also in Discovery of Witches. He was also in Rain is the show I'm thinking of. He played Jack Blackfire's grown up Toby Regbo is casted as Henry, and then kind of wanted to have a little play on the fact that this is based loosely on Bram Stoker's Dracula, and have the original Bram Stoker Dracula play Daddy for William. So I've also kind of got his father casted over here as Gary Oldman. So yeah, I would love to see this turned into a TV show. If I did, I would definitely have to be very hands-on with it. I'm not married to the people that I've chosen for these parts. I just think that they, acting-wise, could do these parts, and that's just my personal opinion. But also, we all know my love of Nicole Kidman. My hair wouldn't look the way it did if I didn't love Nicole Kidman. So that one might be the one that I won't budge on. But book-wise, my plan is to finish the series, which is why I'm really trying to push to get book 3 done, because I figure once Aurelia's out of my head and her and William have their, because I'll give y'all the prologue just to because it kind of sets up the ending to a degree, but it is not the ending. This is not the ending. There will be a continuation in the epilogue for this, you guys. So here's your prologue, just so that y'all can kind of understand. And I recommend listening to the song by Vincent Lima, Yeah, there's no spoilers. This is no spoily, I promise. Or it might be, but I mean, I think we know where this is headed. A mortal werewolf with a human. Come on, we all know where this is headed. But essentially, the idea behind it, with the song in this, I recommend listening to Eurydice by Vincent Lima, because it very much is this. This is the song that I literally had on repeat and was listening to it. And if Vincent Lima ever sees this, thank you for writing that song, even though I swear to God, you stole my diary and my journal and you put my emotions in a freaking song. So, the prologue is titled Eurydice. Aurelia Daciana had claimed to only have one great love of her life that had furiously crashed and burned so many times she had lost count. However, that had all changed the moment that he had come into her life. Now she stood with a trust that had been fragilely pieced back together in the wake of both that supposed first great love and his confession of who he was. She felt the eyes of her brothers watching her carefully for any signs that she was going to turn around. It had been nearly 2 weeks since Dimitri had changed him. A week since she'd been able to lay eyes on him, because even though she was already a lycanthrope, he could injure her without realizing it. The change had been the easy part. It always was. However, the 2 weeks had been filled with acclimating him to controlling himself. The house in Budapest had been the only property properly prepared for their arrival, but had resulted in living arrangements that had kept her from him due to its design. Her feet stalled at the door of the house that he had been placed in. She knew he was well. His mother had told her so when she came his mother had told her so when she came to her after the first week. But bringing her hand to the door to knock was difficult, as the emotional turmoil of the last few months played on a loop in her head. While her heart longed to forgive him and let herself hide away in his arms, that fragile trust was nagging in the background that the world could quickly shatter around them and she would be left in the same place that she had previously been in with Vlad. Being dragged on through centuries, thinking that there was a possible future between them, only to find out that there was no intention of moving forward with one another, that there was only the small flame of hope to never be kindled by his reciprocated love. Her hand finally met the dark wood of the door, knuckles rapping against its grain. Her breath caught as she heard the sounds of his footsteps carrying him through the halls, only to be quickly drowned out by the sound of her racing heartbeat as it filled her ears. The wait may not have been long, but it still made her impatient as her hands began fidgeting with the bottom of the sweater she wore. This was a cliff she wouldn't be able to come back from, and for once, Aurelia was certain she didn't want to have that option. Falling in love was certainly an adrenaline rush, but the fall from the cliff in hopes that the person would reciprocate had scarred her after almost 6 centuries, with Vlad vanishing and returning into her life. Aurelia was brought out of her thoughts at the sound of the door opening, her head rising to watch as it swung on its hinges. She was met with his beautiful hazel eyes, his smile reminding her how much she had missed him in the past months. While they had only been truly separated for 2 weeks, the battle had left him in some kind of coma that they couldn't determine the root cause of. She hadn't heard his voice, seen his eyes, or felt the warmth from his smile in nearly 4 months. Tears pricked at her eyes as she longed to collapse into his arms. It was the only safe haven she knew even now. Aurelia was too caught up in the rush of emotions that had flooded her to notice his hand held out to her. Slowly, hers found its place in his, that familiar feeling washing over her of being home that she had until now only found with her family. Not even Vlad had provided this level of calm that seemed to wash through her. They had a great deal to discuss in the wake of the events of the last 4 months. But in that moment, all she could fathom doing was being in his arms again. The gentle tug from him pulled her forward across the threshold, his scent flooding her senses. While it had changed with his newfound lycanthropy, he was still the same in the ways that mattered. He was still the man she had fallen so deeply in love with the moment she had laid eyes on him that day she had stumbled her way into the research department. The sensation of his lips pressed softly to her forehead was all the tears needed to finally find their escape, her body collapsing into his as he held her closely. Her voice didn't sound like hers as she tried to gasp out the words that she had been so afraid to speak until that moment. I love you. She felt his lips curve into a smile against her forehead, his arms tightening around her as he pulled her closer. They weren't standing in the open doorway long, though it felt like an eternity to her. He patiently waited, holding her until she felt okay to stand on her own. I was hoping I'd get to hear you say that, he finally spoke, brushing her hair back from her face. Aurelia let out a sad laugh, their eyes meeting again, before their lips met in a soft kiss. I'm happy I have you trapped, Spinner. I am happy. But that's the prologue, you guys. You get to hear the whole entire prologue, which might be tweaked. I will not say that everything is going to stay the same as it is. I think there's some stuff I'd like to tweak in the prologue, but there you have it. It's going to be an emotional ride, and I'm kind of excited about it. I've really enjoyed being on their story. A lot of their stuff has been fleshed out. Like I said, I recommend, if you are a writer, use Notion. There's a person that I follow. You only got a little spoiled. You don't know how we get to that point. That's just a tease. That's just a tease of where we're going. Like, this could totally, you don't know how we're going to get from point A to point B. It's very much, I feel like teasing y'all with it is a good way to do it, because it's kind of like George R.R. Martin giving Game of Thrones writers the notes of, this is where everything's eventually going. Y'all have to figure out how to get there. Y'all aren't going to know how we're getting there until we get there. So, I will most likely publish it. Now, whether or not there is a hard copy version published, I think that is going to be questionable. I might do a digital version. It's a great example, except guess what? Mine's not going to suck at the end. Game of Thrones Season 8 fucking sucked. Anyone who says differently, don't trust them. Which is also why I am working on a Game of Thrones fanfic where Jon ends up with a happy ending. Dany doesn't go fucking psycho. Which I'm more than happy to share those as well here. Y'all tell me. We might reserve Wednesdays for these lovely types of streams and start scheduling them, whether they're during the daytime or at night. Where we do this, and I get to talk about these because, like I said, I also have fantastic fanfics that I'm writing at this time. One is Predators and Prey, which is a retelling of the Hannibal TV show. If Will Graham had a girlfriend, which the first how many chapters are up? I don't remember. Hang on. Mind you, I have been a little bit burnt out on that one, so I haven't really done a lot with it, but it is in existence. I have 13 chapters of it posted so far. So there's 13 chapters of Predators and Prey posted, and I would be glad to give y'all some little behind the scenes tidbits on that one, because that one's been fun to write, which is kind of the reason it plus Kate Bridal on TikTok are kind of the reasons I got inspired to do my Dating Will Graham short series. We'll see you next time. But yeah, I'll start tweaking stream schedules, and we'll add Wednesdays on. Fair warning, I won't be uploading these to YouTube because I am doing dual streaming at this point in time with that. So right now we're live both on Twitch and on YouTube. So we're in both locations. And that makes my life just a teeny tiny bit easier. so that I don't have to constantly be figuring out having to download and then re-upload, download and re-upload. So there is that. So we'll keep these. I feel like on Wednesday is a great idea for that, and we'll kind of introduce this as our new thing on Wednesday, and we'll have fun with this and enjoy all of the book writing stuff, because I do enjoy getting to share this stuff with you guys. It's fun, and it kind of reinvests in me that, like, I can do this. And right now, with the way life has been, it feels like it's going to be a whole lot easier to publish a book right now than it is to get a job in the market right now. So we're gonna just focus on books for a little while. I am still applying for jobs, but things have been a little slow in that department and very aggravating. So yeah. Fun things, but yeah, but we'll start doing this on Wednesday. I actually need to stop for a little bit and eat, because I haven't had breakfast. I've only been sipping on my tea. If anyone's curious where I got my mug, it is from and I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly, which is why I'm gonna go to their Instagram. Special shout out to them because they're absolutely amazing. Twee Cosmetics. They not Twee Cosmetics, Twee Ceramics. They're on Instagram. Thanks, Spinner. They're on Instagram. I got this on my last trip out to Arizona last year. And was just like, I love the little Colder mug. It is like my favorite. I also love the little thumb rest on it. This has been amazing to have. Thank you, Harmony. And I fully want more. They also were showing off cauldron mug bowls, and I have said I want 3. So we shall see. I still swear that the next time I'm out there, my goal is I want to get another one to bring home, because this one is lonely, but I love it. And it is perfect for just my cup of tea that I like to have in the morning. So, but yeah, I need to eat something. I really do need to eat something, because I've been doing this for, like, I don't even remember how long we've been going. See, that's the downside of OBS. It doesn't tell me how long we've been going. I have to go on somewhere else and look. We've been going for like 2 hours according to YouTube. So we're gonna call it here. And we will do this again next Wednesday. I'm still going to be writing whether or not I'm on live or not, or on streaming about it, but we'll make this a regular thing and we'll have some fun with it. So I will see y'all next Wednesday for book writing shenanigans. Maybe we can come up with a better title between now and then. If y'all have any recommendations, if you're in the Discord channel, drop them. But I will see you again before that on Friday for our third dip into the world of Forspoken. We'll be kicking off at 6:30 on Friday evening, hopefully. I am supposed to be pupper sitting on Friday. So depending on how that goes, if I leave right at 5, it typically takes me about an hour to get home, and so thankfully I have the roast to warm up, and I can pretty much just have a piece pre-wrapped and toss it in the oven and just have it warming in the background while we get kicked off on Friday night. Eventually my game plan is to have everything set up to where we can actually have camera and gaming going on at the same time. I don't particularly enjoy the idea of doing the remote play from my MacBook, just because that's me. I think it would just be easier if I could just split it, but I can't right this second. Finances and everything like that. So eventually we will have that. And the reason that we have the goal up here of new camera purchase is because I want to do 2 angles for you guys. I want to have an angle that when Miss Catherine is hanging out in here, she's not here right now, but like when she's hanging out in here and when she's hanging out while I'm video gaming, we can have a little cat cam for her royal meowness, because let's be honest, that little brat deserves everything. And she is why I do everything. Yeah, we're going to leave it at that. I have rambled enough and I'm going to go eat. I hope all of you who are watching the playback have enjoyed hanging out with us for 2 hours. And I will see you all on Friday night, 6:30 Central, for our venturing back into Forspoken, the world of Athia with Frey. And we'll have some fun then. So I will see you all later.